welcome back for another video. Now today I want to talk about something that's been heavily on my mind for the past 3 weeks. A lot of you already know I'm definitely late on talking about the subject, but Betty White's passing was pretty shocking to a lot of us, even though she was 99 years old and just maybe a week or two short of her actual birthday. I would have been happy to see her on somebody else's show, 105, 110 years old. I would have loved to keep seeing that because she was very encouraging to me. Watching her age so gracefully, so beautifully, still having so much vigor and so much love and so much friendliness to give the world. It didn't matter how old she was, she just had so much to give, and you could really tell that she was happy and healthy all of her life. And so it made me want to do something. It made me want to encourage other people to be on the same journey that I am. I want to be 100 years old, at least. If I live past 100, that would be cool too. But I honestly want to just live a long time. And so one of the best ways that we can do that is we can prevent disease and we can take care of ourselves. So I started doing some research on what exactly it takes to live a long life. And the number one thing that studies suggest is that staying active at least 1 to 2 hours per week. For me, I try to go something like 2 to 3 hours. I'm 33 years old, so I'm not exactly old, but I'm not exactly super young either. So it's like the more active I am at this point in my life, the better, so that as I age, I can keep it to maybe 1 or 2 hours. It won't be hard because I've already been doing more than that. The second thing that most studies recommend is that you keep your mind sharp. A lot of older people get into doing things like crossword puzzles and jigsaw puzzles and playing chess, things like that. And maybe you and I as active young people may look at that as boring, but in reality, at their age, doing stuff like that is actually very smart, keeps their brain healthy. The only way to not lose it, guys, is to make sure that you're using it, okay? The third thing that I came to find out that was very important is that you need to limit your alcohol and smoking. Some studies suggest that you shouldn't even smoke at all, but then I've also read a couple of 100-year-olds who still smoke cigars. So, it's 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I think if you limit your level of smoking and you limit your alcohol intake, you definitely can have a long life. The next thing that they recommend is that you avoid overeating. I will link some of my other videos about health and fitness so that you can know that we are about that business on this channel. And the fifth thing that I came to realize is that you need to prioritize your happiness. You need to be taking everything in life easy. You need to enjoy life. You don't need to stress. And you need to make sure that you are thinking positively. I cannot stress how important that thinking positively is. And I mean in every situation. Even Betty White gave a secret to long life. She said, and I quote, "Accentuate the positive, not the negative." It sounds so trite, but a lot of people will pick out something to complain about rather than say, "Hey, that was great." It's not hard to find great stuff if you look. And that's really the point that I really want to hit home on. So researchers find that when a person stresses and thinks negatively about a situation, it obviously creates certain hormone releases that have bad effects on your body. Like for instance, stress and anger, they go hand in hand with people with chronic heart disease. What happens is when your body becomes distressed from the dis-ease inside of your mind, then diseases actually get created. So even if we do hear some bad news, even if we do have something negative that we can think about, we need to make sure we're turning it around and changing it into a positive. Because believe it or not, there's always a flip side. There's always a way to make a situation worse. And so the best thing that you can do is remain grateful. Grateful for what you have. Be thankful for what is to come. And if you have that going on, then you can't be pissed off. You can't be stressed because you're too happy with what you have. You're happy with where your life is going. And if you're not, then you know that you are actively doing things to change it and you can make it better. And that should make you happy too. Make sure you are thinking very positively about the situation and not letting any negativity in from others or the world or your negative thoughts. If you even think one negative thought about something, immediately change it into the positive, the opposite of it if you have to. The next thing that they recommend is that you take naps. When you need a nap, if you're feeling tired, you go ahead and you sleep. Because the worst thing you can do is deprive your body of sleep. It actually does take away time away from your life. Because if your body can't heal itself, which is what it does when it sleeps, heal and replenish, then you end up in a situation where your body just goes into overdrive and you end up aging it a lot quicker. The next thing they actually recommend, and a lot of men aren't going to like this one, but you need to hear it. It says get married. A lot of studies show that the social and economic support of a spouse actually does create longevity. You got to be grateful for your partner and take care of each other. That's so important. And so the last thing that they suggest is that you actually have forgiveness in your heart. And a lot of people don't. They hold grudges from stuff that happened 10, 15 years ago. And so if you just start forgiving people now, you won't have a chronic anger situation, which is also linked to heart disease and stress disorders. So it's like, let go of it and just relinquish all negative feelings. Start thinking positively, guys. Start eating healthier. Start being more active and loving each other more. Okay? Let me know how old you guys are and what you think the best way to a long life is. All right, leave me a comment.